Hi guys, so we're here today for the customer story of Insens. We're just going to mention all the license that Odoo has. Okay, I just want to see how Odoo believes in you from day one, either by giving you an access to 2 weeks of free trial, either by giving you a 1 app free. If you guys don't know about that, when you go home tonight, if you need anything, any other app, you can go on Odoo and download any of the app that you wish and keep it for as many users as you want, as long as you want. If you need to try your software, we give you a 14 days trial starting today. If you have a business, but you're on a tight budget, and you still need an ERP, we give you Odoo Community. Odoo believes in you from day one. Our founder, Fabien, we just seen at the keynote, we had a chance to talk to a few times, genuinely believes in giving everyone a chance, an opportunity to achieve their goals and their dreams. And I think this is what really is the core of Odoo. My name is Charlie, and today, with the help of Guillaume, we're going to show you how, with Odoo, you can grow, you can evolve, and how Odoo will follow your needs as they evolve. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce a friend of mine and also a customer, Guillaume.
Hi everyone. I'm gonna start with a small story in order that you understand why I created Insens. So a few years ago, I was a college student here in Belgium, and I had the planned tour visit for an exam in the petrochemistry industry. So I found myself there in the middle of the production plant, talking with an engineer and telling me about how the process is working in the petrochemistry, how the regulation is operating right now. So you can guess that the conversation was quite complex. And on my way home, driving my car, I was thinking, okay, that sounds really, really complex, this petrochemical industry, but complexity most of the times mean that there are some inefficiency in the process. So I was trying to figure it out, how is it possible to help those guys, help those engineers to have an easier life in the plant. So I talk about that to my surroundings, but my project, and so their reaction was quite simple. Guillaume, first of all, calm down. If there are some inefficiency there, those guys are smart enough to figure it out and to find a solution by themselves. So it's always great to have a great support from your surroundings. But anyway, in a way they were right. They are more aware than me about their problem in the industry. So I took that remark as an opportunity, and I decided to ask them directly to those industrial managers what are their pains and how could I make their life easier. So I was several nights in my dorm, in my student dorm, sneaking on LinkedIn, trying to find the right people to ask for a meeting. And so that's what I did. I asked for several meetings, and as bizarre and strange as it sounds, those meetings were really, really interesting because two things always came out from those meetings. So first of all, industry is a big energy consumer. So around 40% of the worldwide electricity and energy consumptions go directly to the industry. But what's really interesting is that they were telling me around 70% of this electricity consumptions directly comes from machines, so the use of those machines. And the second thing was those machines, those same machines, they break down. They break down at an expected time, which is really costly because it stopped the production. So that was their main feedback. And so at that time I went back to the blackboard trying to figure it out. Okay, I have two different problems, two different pains. Is it possible to solve those two pains with one single solution? And so here we are now, and that's what we did. To be straightforward, what we did is we created kind of an electrocardiogram, but not for your health, for the machine health. So we measure electrical signals of those machines, and that enables us to provide an energy diagnosis of those machines and to predict future machines failure so that they can anticipate those failures and avoid unplanned downtimes. So we are now few years later, so we're monitoring hundreds and hundreds of machines in several kind of industry. And I wanted to tell you this story so that Charlie can now explain you how we learn to use Odoo all along our path, going from Excel sheets to a more advanced software. So Charlie, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Guillaume. Isn't it inspiring? Our three guys from Louvain-la-Neuve, so just a few kilometers from here, with just an idea in the beginning, managed to transform that same idea into a fully product, working product, into a worldwide company. They're actually now solving large-scale issues at just 28 years old, working with some of the biggest companies in their sector. So what's the connection between Odoo and Insens? Well, at some point, they had a finished product, they needed to sell it. They needed CRM, they needed some quotes, they needed to create some invoices, some purchase order, and so on. In order to do that, like 99% of the businesses, they turned to Excel. But it quickly became too overwhelming. Too many sheets, too many folders, it didn't do the job anymore. So they turned to Odoo Community, a free version of Odoo. And we went from this to this, where you can manage all your invoices, all your PO, all your quotes, everything from one same software. Odoo Community is, if you don't know about it, completely free, fully integrated, intuitive, and accessible to anyone. With this, with Odoo Community, they managed to avoid mistakes. They started to save time, so much time, allowing them to put some efforts in some other areas of the business. As the company grew, so with Community, they started with CRM, invoicing, purchase, and sales, as we just mentioned. But as the company grew, they started to hire some employees. Some more needs came along. But because Odoo Community is free, and we give you access to the whole bench of application, they managed to just pick the one they needed. So they started working with the employees on time off, on project, and expenses. But by 2023, the company grew even more. They had roughly 10 employees, and they had even more needs. So they decided to move from Odoo Community to Odoo Enterprise. With Odoo Enterprise, they had access to our mobile app, they had access to the accounting, to the subscription module, and they also had access to a yearly upgrade. If you guys don't know, but here, today, at the Odoo Experience, we're releasing and we're showing you the V18 of Odoo, so the 18 version of Odoo. Every year, if you use Odoo, we will upgrade your database to the newer version. If you've got a standard database, we take care of it all. So that means that when Insens decided to move to a full version of Odoo, we took care of it all. No import, no export, no worries. We go from the community to the enterprise, and we do that for you. Because Odoo is easy to learn, because Odoo has an easy access and easy going, it's really easy for new people to come on board, okay? As Insens now is working on Odoo since the beginning, they run 90% of their business in Odoo. From the invoices, the manufacturing of the product, the deliveries, the purchase order, the HR, anything that you guys think of, most of it is run into Odoo. But every year, well, it does seem now that it's more every 2 or 3 months, they've got some new staff coming in. And we need to teach those new staff what to do, how to do it, and how to use the tools. And we know how time-consuming and how overwhelming it can be when you have multiple tools to work on. But with Odoo, everything in Odoo is complete, it's integrated, and makes it easy. If I ask you guys now, if you had to teach someone, take a random person, and I don't know if you guys know SAP, but if I ask you today to teach someone either SAP or Odoo, and you had only one day to do so, I'm confident to believe that everyone here would choose to teach Odoo. because Insens has worked with Odoo since the beginning, it's been really easy for them to understand the software, to work with the software, and to teach those new people to work with. But at the moment, they're still, as we said, on the enterprise version, a standard version, making it easy for everyone, making also to really cheap at the moment. But we know in the long term this is not possible. At the moment, at some point, they need some customization. They need to customize. We know in Odoo that every business, every department, every employee has unique needs. We believe that we need to give everyone a chance to create their own environment. And this is the future for Insens. With Odoo Studio, I don't know if you guys have heard about Odoo Studio, which is a version of Odoo Enterprise, but allows you to customize everything that you need. With Odoo Studio, you can create for yourself and for your employee their own environment. Meaning that some people might want to have all the information on one page. Maybe you want to sort your data in some tabs, have some extra field, some shortcuts. Or maybe for some people, you want to make something as easy as possible, as easy to read, something really easy to understand for a newcomer. Well, this is possible with Studio. Here, in front of you guys, you've got two versions of the same sale order. One with all the data that you might want, with some tabs, some extra fields, and one easier to understand, more minimalist. Well, this is all possible with Odoo Studio. We'll go now to another version of Odoo, which is Odoo SH. We won't delve into too much detail here because it's really for developers. But with Odoo SH, we can really allow you to do whatever you want. If Odoo was a car company, Odoo SH would be all Formula One. If you know how to drive it, you can get wherever you want faster than anyone else. Luckily for Insens, they've got developers internally that will help them to drive that car. Odoo SH allows you to genuinely have access to our codes, the same way as community does, and making your own customization, create your own apps, creating your own links. Maybe you have an e-commerce, but your e-commerce doesn't do any inventory, doesn't do any delivery orders, doesn't do any stock management, doesn't do any HR, any marketing. Well, Odoo SH allows you to customize something to create a link between the two and work on the two at the same time. If you've got a special product, a special service, and you believe that no software at the moment can answer to that need, Odoo SH is here for you. You can customize your own environment, your own app, if you have the proper people inside. Odoo SH really was made by the developer, by Fabien, for developers. So, as you've seen today, we've got multiple versions of Odoo, from the Odoo community to Odoo Enterprise with Studio to Odoo SH. We've got multiple Odoo licenses that will evolve as your needs grow in your company. As your business will grow, we will grow with you. We will take care of it from the beginning until the end. From the really basic of the company, where you might just need one app, you might just need a community with something really basic, to the moment where you need to move to something bigger for everyone to use, to the moment where you might need some deep customization. We will be there for you. This is it, guys. If you've got any question, please reach out now and we'll proceed to some questions. Thank you, guys.
Thank you to the speaker. Is the microphone okay? Perfect. Thank you to the speakers again. If you have any questions, please scan the QR code.
Maybe just mention if the question is for myself or for Guillaume from Insens. And you can also come to us at the end if needed.
All right, we have one question here. How long did the implementation of Insens take, with or without Odoo SH?
They're not on Odoo SH at the moment, and I'll let you answer that question, but I think it was a process on the long term from community. So the implementation was actually bit by bit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that's right. So we started from community because we were a poor startup with no funds. So we started from community, and then we moved on to enterprise when we had some needs to go from community to enterprise, and that that was quite quick. I think about 2 weeks, and I don't mean 2 weeks full work on that. I mean it took 2 weeks in total with the daily tasks that I had for my business. And from enterprise to SH, that's a little bit longer because we need some more customization. And so I think that the main consuming task is on our side, defining exactly what do we need to, because when it's clear in our mind, that goes quite quickly. With Odoo, it's difficult to give you an exact number of days, but
it can go from a few days to a few weeks, or a few months, depending on how deep you need to go in your.
We are still in this processor right now, so it's not over yet. But I think that by the end of the month, it will be over.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And here I have another question. Did you notice any big differences between using the community version and the enterprise version in your processes?
Yes. So for us, the community version was really great because we were able to manage the software by ourselves. So that was great. But at one point, that became compulsory to have a support because we had so many specific questions to ask to the people in Odoo. We had to monitor a few metrics that were specific in our business for our investors, for our customers. So those specific questions that we had, we didn't find the answer by ourselves. So moving to enterprise, we had a point of contact in Odoo. We could ask him the different questions. You transfer me also to the support for the several questions I had. So I mean, it's great for the support, and more importantly also for all the software update that you
the
make.
mobile app as well.
Yeah,
the accounting bit as well.
Just have to do one click and that's it. I don't have to manage it by myself. So yeah.
All right, thank you. And I have a question about Studio. How simple it is to use if you're not a developer, and by extension, like, are there any courses that someone can take, any online material to get to learn Studio a little bit better?
We do have online videos on Studio. Studio was made exactly to be easy to use. So it's generally like the middle point between enterprise and SH, whereas you can really customize stuff, but it's still really easy to use. It's a drag and drop system that you'll find in Odoo on the website, for instance, or on the marketing app. So it's quite intuitive, but there's so many options that, yeah, indeed, it needs a bit, you need to learn it. But we've got so many videos online that we provide that will help you. But I invite you generally, for a person who asks this question, to try Odoo tonight. You've got 14 days, and you can do whatever you want. So play around with the software, have a look at the videos, and if you've got questions, my card is just there.
All right, thank you. And another question, do you have a dedicated team or some dedicated people that are working on Odoo in your company? Or is it, basically, and what's the size of this team if you have one?
Yeah, so everyone in the company, so we are about 15 people right now, and everybody in the team is using Odoo, not for the same things, but so everyone has a training about Odoo when he enters the company, because that's the main software we using for the daily task. So everybody use it, and when someone has a question, so we have a team of developers that handles the most complex question if we have to do something in the software. But most of the time when they have a question, they just go to the documentation available on your website, and they just find the answer by themselves. And there is also a lot of already question and answers in your documentation. So most of the time the question that we have already been replied and answered in your blog. So
the videos that we use internally to teach the new staff to do the onboarding, they're available for everyone online. So you can generally on YouTube access any of those videos and learn about Odoo on any module that you want. It's really short videos, really nice to watch. It's easy, straightforward, so I would advise anyone to have a look into it.
Thank you very much. And one final question perhaps. Which hosting solution would you recommend if someone wants to use Odoo Enterprise for the company?
Online.
Odoo Online.
Online. If you're not if you want to go on premise, or this comes something that you need to do if you've got the people internally to do so, but it has to be, if you're starting online with the support, it's easier for us to help you. So I genuinely advise.
And if they want to make any customizations on top of Odoo,
Studio or then Odoo SH. But this is, if they've got specific question like that, please come to us at the end and we'll talk that between ourselves.
perfect. That's all for questions. Thank you very much again.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for your attention, guys.